I'm Jeff Reyes.
And I'm Jeff Green.
And we're with shortsellwithjeff.com. And today we're talking about the foreclosure timeline that our California Association of Realtors has put out. We'd love to give you a copy of that. You can just give us a phone call, email, and or submit a form on the site, and we'll be more than happy to give this to you. Really quickly, just want to kind of summarize what we've said in a previous post. The foreclosure timeline, it basically has some about 5 or 6 milestones, and those are: 1, you missed your payment. Okay, so you've missed a payment, and that starts what's called the pre-foreclosure period. That pre-foreclosure period can last anywhere between 1 to 3, 4, 5, 6 months, who knows how long. And then after that, your lender will contact you. They tend to be more on the more you miss your payments. Day 31, they kind of call you right away. They want to know what's going on.
Right.
So then they contact you, and then day 31, they can give you a notice of default. That's telling you you're in default of this X amount of dollars, and you need to bring that current. After that, they then can put a notice of trustee sale on your property, meaning that gives them the right to sell your house on the courthouse steps. And then day 152, the trustee sale happens. So today we want to kind of talk about a little bit, because sometimes, we both have heard stories from clients and other people in general. Just kind of, we gave this timeline, and this seems like a pretty quick timeline, but we've dealt with a lot of people of other lenders, and they have these longer, which seems like they haven't made payments for a couple of years or 18 months or something like that. And how can that happen when our Association of Realtors, they put this together, and obviously with attorneys and everybody, how can that timeline coincide with this timeline?
Okay, let's talk about that for a moment. First of all, the timeline provided by the California Association of Realtors, this is not the law. It doesn't mean that they have to do it this way. It's what the law allows. So there's a difference between what the law is, what the law enforces, and what the law allows. It's up to the bank whether they want to pursue foreclosure on you. So sometimes the bank, for various reasons, doesn't do it. We don't know what those reasons are. I have a client that I work with in Stockton, and 2 years of non-payment and no notice of default. So what could cause that? A number of things. There could be an error in the records at the bank, so they don't issue that. There could be some kind of legal issue going on that we're not aware of. But here's a thing that would be really tough if you go through this. Perhaps the notice of default was issued, but it was lost in the transmission. Maybe it was recorded somewhere and nobody found it, or nobody was made aware of it. So I'm going to say this right now, it's very critical. If you think that you have a notice of default or might have a notice of default, you should contact us, because we can look that up for you. Another example is people that have gone through a loan modification. They talk to the person at the front of the line. Hi, everything's going okay. Yeah, everything's going okay. You're going to approve the loan modification. Yeah, it should. Everything looks good. The only way they find out their loan modification hasn't been approved is when there's a notice of trustee sale taped to their door.
Happens, isn't it?
It's horrible. I mean, it's like,
it's crazy.
This is a disgraceful way to be treated, and it's a sad thing. So if that happens to you, is it too late to do a short sale? Not necessarily. If you call us immediately, we need every bit of that last few days, and we have been able to avert the trustee sale through the short sale process. So those are some examples, but just because you haven't received notice, I'll tell you, there's way more activity going on in the recorder's office, with the banks in regards to foreclosures than there ever has been.
Right.
So that information can be lost.
Correct.
It could be incorrectly recorded. Sometimes we have information that they've switched the numbers on a person's parcel number. So the recordation, or not necessarily the recordation, but just the noticing of the sale or the default goes to the wrong house. The person says, I know I'm not in default. I bought the house cash, till they throw the notice away and nobody goes back and corrects it. Right. So if you think you're in that situation, if you've missed some payments, you definitely need to get some help verifying that.
I mean, I've even seen instances where we're short selling a condo right now for some clients, and condos seem to be another one where when people have recorded the original sale of the property, and they just put the address, but they don't put the condo numbers. So sometimes you look at that and you'll see the address, but you won't see the actual unit number or something like that. And so there's it's all clear. It's human error. So you can leave you can leave it up to human error. You can try to figure it out and see what's going on. Because that's a lot of, and then the other part of it too is just being backlogged.
Exactly.
I mean, you deal with somebody like Bank of America, who a lot of people are kind of hard on them, but they have, I think it's a sixth of all home loans, they service in America. That's a lot of home loans. And with a large percentage, there's such a big percentage being in default, you can only imagine, it starts to stack up.
It does.
And with something that, from a business standpoint, if I'm dealing with all this is a toxic part of my business, they have to justify throwing all that manpower at a part of the business that's dying. So that's hard to do. So, everybody's starting to ramp that up, but at the same time, it's going to be something they're going to deal with for a long time. So somebody could have missed a payment, and they may have gotten a notice of default. That's the other thing, too, is that our notice of default, we say, day 31, you get the notice of default, and then day 121, you get the trustee sale. Sometimes the time from a notice of default to you get a notice of trustee sale could be 6 months, a year. Who knows? It can really spread out, and there's multiple reasons as to how that timeline can be done. But I don't want to wait around until I get a trustee sale before I do anything.
Right, and the most important thing, again, I'm going to stress it again for you who are watching this video today, the most important thing is that you have as much control over what's going to happen as possible. And the only way to have that control is having the right information. And we are able to provide information that would be very helpful to you. So we look forward to helping you with that. If you want a copy of the foreclosure timeline, just get a hold of us. We'd be happy to provide it.